Yo, this is TrevyBoi, and I'm sitting on the black couch with Dreamshot visuals.
All right, we got TrevyBoi on the black couch with us today. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm chilling. How you doing?
For sure, I'm cool.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Let everybody know where you from.
All right, so I grew up in Cleveland, like the inner city area, but I didn't bounce all around for real. Like, I lived like my first 10 years like in the inner city area. Then I moved to Rocky River and I lived there for about 2 years. Then in 2012, I moved to Warrensville. Then I went to Warrensville. Then lived in Bedford for the last 2 years of my high school, and that was it.
For sure. What year did you graduate?
2018.
All right. How was your childhood growing up in the inner city?
Um, in my eyes, it was like a little interesting because I feel like it was a bunch of different parts. Like, I don't think it's really like one like set answer on how my childhood was, because like part of it was in what people would call the hood, and then the other part is like in the suburbs. So like I kind of got the best of both worlds, and I didn't really adapt I didn't adapt too much. Well, I ain't gonna say I didn't adapt. The hood part, I didn't want to be there. I knew that from the jump. Like I know niggas like, they be like, oh yeah, I want to stay in the trenches, stay in the hood. Nah, that wasn't me. Like I knew living in it, I didn't want to be in that shit no more. And I also knew the suburbs was too damn, I don't even know, like, the parts I was in was too like uppity. So like once I moved to like Bedford, that was just like a happy medium. So growing up, it was like real a little rough. Like the area we lived in was like 118th and Benham. It was always like somebody shooting outside. It was always a fight. My family was always getting into it with the people on the street because it was just like impossible not to. So I remember it was one time the people from up the street, it was these people we was always getting into it with. They was like, we gonna shoot y'all house up, and they always made that threat, like we gonna shoot y'all shit up. And I was just like, why is y'all so calm about this? Cause my family, they didn't trip, cause like they was about that shit. But me, I'm like, bro, why is y'all so calm about that shit? Like they really talking about shooting up the house. Like I remember I tried to get my auntie take me back to her house, cause I'm like, they talking about shooting up the house and they acting like that's not a goddamn problem. That's a problem. So it wasn't that I don't like the hood. I fuck with where I came from, but I also know it's a time to leave. So once I moved to Rocky River, that was like a different type of adjustment for me, because although I said I didn't like being where I was at, I'm still at the end of the day nigga to the core. So when I got out there, it took me a minute to like adjust to how they were. But once I did, it was more so like I was seeing, oh dang, it's more to the world than where I was at. So yeah, it was half and half, good and bad, but I ain't got too much to complain about.
For sure. So how was that Bedford Warrensville life for you?
I'll say when I moved back to Warrensville when I was 14. When I moved back to Warrensville, I'll say that's really like the turning point in my life, because like that's when I started like playing baseball, and I started to like figure out what I really wanted, or what I thought I really wanted to do. And I started to meet a lot of the key people that's still in my life today who kind of helped me come up to who I am today. And I think it was probably like some of the best points of my life from 2014 to 2018.
For sure. So what is it that you wanted to pursue as a career?
Initially, if you would have asked me that at 14, I wanted to be a Major League Baseball player. If you would have asked me that at 15, that would have been the same answer up until I was 18. In the back of my mind, though, I always knew I wanted to be a YouTuber. Like, I always knew that's something I always wanted to do, but I also would think it was impossible, because the videos I would watch, I'd be like, man, I can't make that happen. I can't make nothing entertaining like that. So me naturally being good at baseball, that was just an easy avenue for me to go down until I wasn't playing baseball no more. And like a question I always asked myself was like, what am I good at? Like, what do I want to do? And I would always shy away from YouTube. And I'm like, man, like I ain't got no business doing that. I can't do that like them dudes doing it on the computer. And finally I had to be real with myself, like, that's something I definitely want to do. Like, that's a passion, it's real, because I didn't try it too much in my life. Like I tried it for the first time when I was 10. Didn't work out because I was just making bullshit videos. And plus, a family friend I had at the time, she didn't like my video. She thought I was being too, what she called? She said I was crude and rude. I still don't know what crude is, but I understand rude. So I'm like, all right, whatever, it's cool. So she deleted my video. So I'm like, all right, I'm done. And then me and my brother got back to doing it, and we made our channel together in 2016 while we both were at Bedford. And after that, we would do stuff like just sit in front of the camera. Like, imagine me sitting right here doing the video all the time, just like this. Like, nothing else. This is what we did. And that's cool because I got to kick it with my brother. But from the creative aspect, that just didn't work for me. Like, I had fun, but it went from, oh, I'm just happy to be doing a YouTube video to, all right, bro, I'm not gonna do YouTube to half-ass it. Like, if we're gonna do this, we gotta do it. And we had two different sides to like how we wanted to do it. So we ended up just stopping the whole thing completely for 3 years. And then finally, 2020, I was just like, man, I'm just gonna do this, bro. I don't care.
For sure. So when you was 10 years old, what type of content were you actually producing? What were you doing?
Skits.
Skits.
I thought I could do skits, and I'm glad I went through that phase because I realized I can't do a skit. That's not my avenue. I can't do it because the skits I was doing was cringy. Like, first of all, there was no plot to them. I would literally just get in front of the camera and just do something like, oh, hey, it's Trevor. Like, some shit like that. Like, it's nothing to it. And I would cuss a lot, and that's not good when you're 10. You can't just be on the camera, like, cussing all the time. Like, it don't matter if you're funny or not. Somebody gonna look at you like, yo, whose kid is that? Like, real shit. So, looking back now, I know I wasn't making the right content, but my heart was in the right spot. I wanted to do YouTube, but I slowly then came up to like the type of content I want to make. I know today I won't do skits though. Like, I still can't do skits today because I can't, like, I don't know. That's just something that I feel like if you're gonna do skits, you just got a knack for skits. Like, you can do that. Like, it's people that do skits that are really good at skits. And it's people who do stuff like reactions that are really good at reactions. There's people that do vlogs that are really good at vlogs. So everybody got their lane. That's not my lane. I can't do a skit.
For sure. So what about the content with you and your brother? What type of content was that y'all was producing when y'all was sitting in front of the camera? Like, what was y'all talking about?
So it wasn't all bad. Like, I ain't gonna say it was all bad, but it was just like, we did smash or pass videos. We did would you rather videos. We did videos that we just, in other words, everything was on the fly. We never planned for anything. Like, we did a video once every week to 2 weeks, and we would probably just be like, all right, so what type of video you want to do? I think we should do this. I think we should do this. Like, literally 10 minutes before we would sit the camera up and start recording. So we never really planned for anything. And I think that hurt us a little bit more because it got to a point, we ain't got no ideas on the fly to sit in front of the camera and do no more. Like, we got to come up with something else. And when it got time to like come up with something else and like really like put the foot on the gas, we had two different perspectives. And so that's when we just decided that it's just like, we just gonna end it.
For sure. So speaking of the present now, what does your YouTube mainly focus on?
I try to, my YouTube today has a deeper message for me. It focuses on complete individuality. Like, I try to focus on vlogging, anything to get different personalities in it. Like, mixing as much in it as possible. Like, whenever somebody asks me what type of stuff do I shoot, I make sure everything, like, I try to do vlogs, I try to do a bunch of challenges with a bunch of people mixed in. I try to get as much people involved in it as possible because people like seeing personalities. People like seeing a bunch of different personalities. So I try to be as inclusive as possible. Things that's live action, things as lit as possible. That's what I try to do. So whether it's a vlog, whether it's a public interview, whether every now and then I might have my videos where I'm gonna sit in front of the camera and talk about something if I feel like there's something that I do want to speak to my viewers about. I'll do that. So, yeah.
For sure. So what's the main goal from YouTube? Where you trying to take it?
I'm trying to take it as high as I possibly can. My main goal is I got a couple of different goals. One of them being in Cleveland, you don't see a lot of YouTubers come up. Like it's no secret that being a YouTuber is like in high demand. Well, not in high demand, but like everybody want to be a YouTuber. Like it's like in everybody's mind that they want to pick up a camera and do what they see on YouTube. And I feel like you don't really see that a lot coming out of Cleveland. Cleveland got some people that pop off every now and then, but you don't got nobody that really like blow on YouTube from Cleveland. I want to be that guy. Like I want to be the guy that show the kids that's watching, like, hey, you can do it, bro. It's not hard. Like I'm from the same city as you. You can pick up a camera and you can make this happen. Or even if they ain't from my city, like I want to inspire others to pick up the camera, be themselves, and create content, entertain, whatever it is they want to do with it. So ultimately, that's one of my goals. And the number one goal always from the jump has always been to just make it as big as I can on YouTube. Like I've been inspired by dudes like DDG. It's a dude named Delano TV. People don't even really know, bruh, but he was like doing YouTube way back when, like 2010. Like, and he was hot way back then. He actually made me start wanting to do it. So that's really it.
For sure. Have you talked to any big YouTubers? Talked about collaborating, any networking?
I do it all the time. I DM YouTubers all the time, like, hey, like let's get together, shoot this. But ultimately, like you gotta be realistic and understand like certain levels that people in, like especially the higher level ones, it's not, the chance of them responding to you is small. You gotta do something to get noticed first. So I understand that right now where I'm at. So when they don't respond, which I'm sure, well, I'm not gonna say I know they ain't gonna respond, but like the chances is a little bit smaller because they got a million people in their DM every day. So I just know like I gotta make some noise first before anybody big want to even like collab with me. And as far as like people in the city who like starting off like me, I DM people all the time. You got your people sometimes like who act a little bougie, who got a little bit more clout, act like they can't help like build like you would think people want to be, because I guess that's a Cleveland thing, bro. Like people don't want to help you, or they don't want to build together. They just want to get there by themselves, and that's cool and all. But like it's enough for all of us to eat. Like everybody always want to just no, bro. They don't want to put nobody on game. Basically, is what I'm saying. Nobody never want to put nobody on game. Don't nobody ever want to like help the dude next to them get there. They just want to get there on their own to say they did it. They want to be the only ones. And that's why I think a lot of people in the city is where they are now, because this is not a motivating city at all. It's not a, you got your few people and you got to appreciate those ones, but it's not a city where it's a helping hand just around the corner.
Definitely feel that. All right, so have you tried taking like more professional approaches on the messaging YouTubers instead of like DMing them? Have you tried emailing them? Because I know some of them have emails in their bios, things like that. Have you tried that?
Yeah, so you heard of DDG before?
Yeah.
So out of all the YouTubers, he's probably the one I didn't message the most. I didn't DM him and everything. He even had this thing that he was doing a while back where he basically had a class that you had to pay for, where he showed you all the tips to like doing YouTube. He even like was like interacting with the fans that paid for it. It was like a monthly subscription or whatever. So normally I wouldn't even pay for nothing like that, but I'm like, shit, it's my dream. I gotta invest in my dream, bro. And the dude obviously know what he's talking about. So I went on this website looking at everything, and he would give all types of information. I would always message on, because he had like a little public board that you can message on, and he'd get back to everybody. And he will always get back to me and a bunch of other people messages. Like I would be like, okay, so like, how do I get in the algorithm, for example? So he put a big message out, linking all of us together, saying, get in the algorithm, like you want to post as much as possible. Like starting out, like it's cool to try to make the big productions and the big popular videos, but you got to get seen first. You got to make some noise first. Like if people don't know who you is, you just a nigga with a nice video. don't nobody see you yet. You gotta be like, hey, I'm over here. You gotta get some attention shed on you. So like that's basically like what he was explaining and stuff like that. So I've hit his email. He ain't responding in DM. Damn, sound like a super fan and shit.
For sure. Do you ever get people that like don't want to be filmed on your channel?
Yeah, I try to ask people though before I even whip out the camera. I'd be like, hey, are you comfortable being on camera? Because I know like sometimes it's very common for people to not want to be recording, whether they feel like they don't look right, whether they don't want to be seen in a certain light or anything like that. I try to ask like before I even record, I just be like, you want to be on camera? Like, is that something you comfortable with? And if not, I won't even get you in it.
For sure. Would you consider this like your full-time job, or you got a real job, you feel me, that you're focusing on?
I got a real job that I focus on, but I do try to make. I put that as number one, YouTube as number one priority though. Whenever I'm not working, I try to make sure I'm doing something to further my career. I'm trying to do as much as possible to further my career. So the second I get off, or even when I'm on the job, I'm trying to do stuff like for my YouTube channel. Like whether I'm trying to staff for a video, or whether I'm on the phone with some of my friends who help me come up with some ideas to come up with something. Nonetheless, I'm always talking about it. I'm always doing something in regards to it. I don't think it's been a day where I haven't put something towards it, like in some way.
So would you say coming up with content is hard for you, or like what is your creative process like?
Man, it's a struggle. Like, and it's crazy. I'm not saying that in a bad way at all either, but I think it's low key a blessing that I've seen how hard it actually is to come up with what people be doing, because it makes me appreciate it a little bit more, and it makes me go a little bit harder, because coming up with a video, it is hard. Like, because not only do you got to come up with a video, but if that video requires other people, you need to find the right people to be in that video. You can't just put anybody in your video, because at the end of the day, they're going to set the tone for that content that you just put out there. You need the right personalities in your stuff, and you don't want to put just anything out there. Yeah, I know you should post as much as possible, but I try to make sure I put something that somebody would at least want to hear out there. So my creative process is usually, I got a whole notepad that I got, and I got like a million different ideas that I jot down, because I want to just keep everything on one thing for me to see, and me like writing it all out, that helps me to keep it in my brain. That helps me to think about how I'm gonna get it better, how I'm gonna add to it, any of that. So usually at the end of every day, literally every day, I go down my notepad and I look at the different video ideas, and I got two different sides. I got more complex videos versus more simple videos. The more simple videos, those are things that I go to as a last resort. Like if I ain't posted in like a week and I just need to get something out. Although it's still gonna be good, I mean, in my eyes, it's still gonna be like some good content. It's not gonna be as complex as what I would put on the complex side, like a public interview that I might need a couple people for, or a smash or pass in person video, or the Wild 'N Out video I'm trying to shoot. Like things like that might take a little bit more planning and stuff like that, I might put on that side. So that's usually what I might go through when it comes to like shooting a video.
For sure. So do you watch a lot of other YouTube videos to come up with your YouTube content?
Yeah, I try to watch a lot of YouTube at night. Like that's usually how in my day, like I might do everything I gotta do. Then I see like, all right, what's popping right now? What's the trends? Like, what do people like to see? And I try not to like really think about, oh, I want to do my video how this YouTuber did their video, because at the end of the day, that's them. That works for them. What works for them is not gonna work for me. What people like to see them do, they're not gonna like to see me do. So at the end of the day, like I know, like I only can do what's gonna work for me. I only can do what I can do. So although I might watch other YouTubers and be like, okay, that's a good idea. I like how they did that. It's more so like I'm taking it almost like as advice, like watching a video. All right, that's a good idea. I'm gonna put that and figure out a way how I can put a spin on it and make it work for my channel.
For sure. So what can the people, the fans, the supporters, what can they expect from you in the near future?
What fans can expect from me in the near future is a lot of big things. Like I plan on coming up. I plan on only getting better. I plan on only coming up with a lot bigger ideas. Like I'm literally thinking every day to come up with ideas for videos to set me aside from the next, and to have an overall message like put through all those videos too, to just be you. Be you and enjoy being you, and understand that there's no other extent to that. It don't need to be no other extent to that. Like if you're gonna do something like YouTube, something like content creating, you need to fully invest yourself in being you. Because if you don't really know how to be you, you can't really be nobody to anybody else. And that's really like the message I wanna send out there. That's what I want my videos to scream, like, oh, that's Trevor being Trevor, that's Trev being Trev. Like I want people to see that. I want people to be able to watch that and feel comfortable in their own skin to want to do that on their own if they want to do that.
All right, so where can the people, the fans, the supporters, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on IG at trev._, and you can find me on YouTube at TrevyBoi, TrevyBoi. That's it.